And Jordan, do you think the problem comes from the fact that we don't believe in religion anymore? And if you don't believe in religion, I don't know who said this, and then you don't believe, people need to believe in something. And as a result, what we've taken is identity politics as a way to belong to a group. Or do you think it's far more complex than that?
Well, there's a New Testament doctrine that you render unto Caesar what is Caesar and unto God what is God's. And I actually think that's a very astute psychological statement. And now it depends on whether or not you believe that human beings have a religious instinct. And I think broadly that the answer to that is that they do, for a variety of reasons. First of all, religious experience is elicitable by biochemical means. So that's pretty powerful evidence right there. But there are all sorts of religious-like experiences that we all pursue. So we feel awe to beauty. We feel awe to the ideal. We participate in like mass worship of sports prowess. We like to see people hit the target, which is the opposite of sin, which means to miss the target. We get enraptured by a gospel-oriented rock performance in a stadium, and we do that with other people, and it fills us with enthusiasm, which is to be filled with God, because that's what enthusiasm means. We feel awe towards certain actions that people undertake, particularly if they're radically altruistic or radically truthful. We're possessed by the desire to mimic people that we see act out an ideal that we don't understand, etc., etc. And like I've made a list of about 50 of these things that I'm not going to go through all of them, but so you imagine there's an instinct that orients us towards the ideal, and that would be part of the consequence of us having to emerge from this insufficient biological substructure that Heather was talking about and move towards whatever we could be. We need a vision of what that is. And I believe that vision is deeply influenced by biological factors, reciprocity, for example, which would emerge again from the phenomena that our social nature, our protracted childhood dependence, etc. It's emergent property of that. All of that is reflective of religious instinct. So now then you might posit societies have to organize themselves so that that religious instinct is fulfilled without it disrupting other functions, or without other functions being disrupted by it. So the religious system collapses, the need for it doesn't disappear. And so then what happens, as far as I can tell, is it just plummets down the value hierarchy until it hits a point where it can find some satisfaction. So politics becomes religion. And then look out. Because, see, maybe we have some sense of an absolute ideal. We have the need for an absolute ideal. And maybe you make that abstract and you view that as God, and God is distant and ineffable and undefinable and abstract and eternal. He's not local to your country and your place, like a figure like Stalin or Mao. And maybe if you don't have something to project that ideal onto, something abstracted, let's say, and perhaps even something communal, then it starts to contaminate other functions. And I believe that, I think this is where the new atheists went so wrong. They assumed that if we just dispensed with all that idiotic superstition, we'd all become, avatars of Richard Dawkins style logic, assuming we had the capability, which we generally don't. And I just don't see that that's true. I don't see any evidence that that's the case. I think what happens is we dispense with the catastrophic superstition of Catholicism and end up swallowing something much more ungainly and horrible.